going on, everybody? It's Fandom Empire live. One day closer to May. You wouldn't know it in Canada, considering the snow that fell last night. What's going on, people? It's going to be a short one today. Half an hour, 45 minutes. Q&A. We're going to talk a little bit about Halloween. We're going to dive into the possibility of a Halloween movie set in the past. Talk a little bit about Friday the 13th, Thor Love and Thunder trailer, and a few other things. Joining me on tonight's episode, man, myth, legend, Kieran. What's going on, man? I muted him again. See if I can. There we go. Nope, he muted himself. Apparently he muted himself.
Just shut up.
Interesting. Yeah, StreamYards, by the way, StreamYards is having all sorts of issues tonight. So bear with us, everyone. We'll do our best to get the half an hour, 45 minutes in. But StreamYards is being a piece of poo. Giant piece of poo. Not Mr. Yankee either.
I think we're good here. I got my setup all fixed now.
What's going on, Mike? What's happening, man?
Not much, man. Good to be back. Listen, sorry for all the Toronto fans out there, man. My Sixers are kicking ass, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm happy to be off night shifts. I'm glad to be back and ready to talk some fandom stuff.
Agreed. Happy to have you back. So I see Dean's already getting, our boy Dean is already getting that solid in the chat. And it's kind of funny because Tommy B mentions to me, I think it was yesterday or the day before, he's like, so do you want added back to the Halloween chat? When I took my leave of absence, I left a bunch of group chats, stayed out of them for like a month and then came back. But apparently I didn't rejoin the Halloween chat. Didn't even know there was one outside of the Patreon one. And apparently Solid does a good job of keeping everybody extra informed. So I can only imagine how much Dean's just at his wit's end with them. Hang in there, man. Thor Love and Thunder, guys. Trailer's out. Kieran, did you get a chance to go watch it or no?
Yeah, just now.
Did? All right, let's talk about it, guys. Thor Love and Thunder. What do we think of the teaser?
I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good. I think for all Thor fans, I'm not the biggest Thor fan, so I'm not going to go into any details. I don't know too much about it, but the census from what I got is just being, outside looking in. I thought it was pretty well done. I mean, it is what it is. It's exactly what we think. It's just that it's a teaser. I know a lot of Marvel fans and Thor fans really enjoyed it and are very excited for it. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good from what I saw. I'm interested to hear any big Thor fans or Marvel fans, more of their opinions. But the census that I got from overall is everybody's excited for it.
I quite liked it. It's really nice to see Thor with a smile on his face again. Obviously, the character, he starts out being very arrogant, but then he becomes a very fun-loving character through most of the films that he's involved in. And then when it gets to Infinity War, he is super depressed and like really one of the saddest arcs, the whole thing. So it's really nice to see him look happy and cheerful again. And I don't know what's going to happen in this movie. I don't have a lot of spoilers other than I knew what happened at the very end of the trailer, which is us seeing Natalie Portman as Thor. Also I know that one of the Marvel Legends figures came out of him wearing that vest over top of the white shirt. And they call that figure was called Ravager Thor. So I led to believe that he joins the Ravagers there, the crew from Guardians of the Galaxy, and maybe goes off with them for a bit. So maybe they'll be in the movie a little bit more than even I thought, which is cool to see. Or should be interesting.
Like be in a little bit of it at the very least.
I think it's going to be half Guardians and then half Thor. Like it'll be the first half will be him with the Guardians, and then he'll have to maybe come back and be Thor again after whatever happens to Natalie Portman's Thor, but that's just all theorizing. It was good. I mean, Marvel once again went back to the well with some AC/DC music.
I'm sorry, some what music?
Wasn't there AC/DC in the? What was the song that was playing?
Sweet Child of Mine.
Oh, it was sorry, Guns N' Roses. Yeah, well, that's because I only saw it 5 minutes ago. Yeah, but really cool trailer. Looks interesting, seems fun, and fun to kind of get back to that kind of vibe that you're going to get with a Taika Waititi film. So,
I find the Marvel vibe gets old on me after a while, but Taika's a different breed. I mean, you had to know Korg was coming back, and there are multiple shots of Korg in that trailer. So I was just like, yeah, give me Korg. It almost seems like when he's not with Guardians, it might be a Thor Korg buddy movie, and like, sign me up if that's the case.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that character too, and yeah, I mean, Thor Ragnarok was one of the better Marvel movies in the catalog. So, I can't imagine that this is going to be that much. It's got a very high floor for me. Like, it's going to be probably a good to great movie at its floor. I can't imagine it being a total miss. But I mean, Marvel for me right now is kind of reloading because we're getting some really interesting, different stuff. It's going away from the Iron Man, Captain America type of formula there. We're getting Moon Knight, which is very different. We got Eternals, which was very different. WandaVision and Loki were a little bit off the path. So I'm kind of back in on Marvel right now. I'm kind of getting back into it with them kind of changing direction and doing some interesting things other than, black and white, bad guy versus good guy, throw in a million jokes type of formula. They're kind of going away from that lately. So
I'm curious to see what the next direction holds for them, for sure. Guys, let me shift gears here for a bit. Let's dive into the Halloween verse, if you will. So I was talking with one of our sources that we use here at the channel, and I didn't intend to talk about this tonight, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. And they said, again, there's not too much context to put with this. It's pertaining to Halloween Ends. But they basically said if you were to retitle Halloween Ends, another fitting title for the movie would be The Legend of Michael Myers or even The Legend of the Shape. And it definitely kind of got me thinking more about the whole the effect that's left behind after the events of this movie, this trilogy, these 4 films really. And what kind of legends would be told, and I do like that that phrasing was used because it does feel, for all intents and purposes, that this movie is setting up to be more of a almost like a mystery puzzle piece movie blended in with a horror movie than it is anything like we've seen in Halloween Kills. It's definitely not a balls to the wall slasher that we're getting in this last movie. It's definitely something more drawn out with a whole B plot that's going to do a lot of explaining too. So what are your thoughts though on not the possibility, but the idea that another fitting title for this movie could be it makes reference to at least the legend of Michael Myers at the end of the day. I don't think that just assumes that he dies, but I do think the safe bet is at the very least, vaguely, they're going to try to make you think he died. At the very least, if he doesn't die.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that. I'm pretty. I don't know. I'm going back and forth, and I've been going back and forth with Ends, whether I'm excited for it, whether I'm just about it. For the longest time, I was about it. But obviously, the closer that we get, the more things that we start to hear. Obviously, I'm starting to get more and more excited for it. My hopes were pretty tamed for Kills, so I made sure that they stayed that way. even after the badass trailer that I saw that showed too much, whatever. I'm excited to see if we're going to get back in what seems like we are going back to more of a storytelling type of story when it comes to Halloween Ends, and better dialogue, and better overall storytelling instead of Halloween Kills was mainly, they tried to do some stuff, some storytelling and stuff like that in Kills, but that obviously was a film that was made for people who wanted to see Michael Myers just fucking wreck shit, which I did, and that's why I enjoyed it so much. So I think we're going to get back, hearing the things like you shared, Sean. I'm excited because I think we are going back to that storytelling side. I think we're going to have a good story. We're going to have better dialogue. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm interested to see where they go. I saw Nick Castle was at a con a couple days ago, and he said that the ending of Halloween Ends is something that nobody would expect. So take that for what it is. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it and where they go.
I will say this. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but we did a Patreon stream not too long ago where we discussed a possible ending, and I was kind of on the possibility, not of it being fake, but of just not being overly thrilled with it. In between the rumored endings that have been out there, between what Jamie Lee Curtis has said and what Nick Castle has said, I do think we're going to get the controversial ending that was alluded to over on that stream. So, by the way, if you're new to the channel, you can become a channel member today. Just click join, or you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Fandom Empire. Join today because that's the way, or so I hear. We appreciate all the support that those of you give us over there. It really does mean a lot. You are going to notice more changes continue to happen at the channel in terms of how content is distributed and what we do. We're just in the process of figuring that out still, and what's the best way to go about it, just in terms of scheduling. Really, Kieran, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, don't forget, you can join for as little as like $3. So that's like almost nothing. And then you can also join for more money and get more, even more exclusive Patreon shows and things like that. But could be very cheap. Could be very cheap. Could be almost nothing. You might not even notice it come out of your bank account, and you'll get awesome videos.
So let me put this out there. If once this trilogy ends, so
I don't get to talk about the legend.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did. Go ahead. Just talk.
Well, I just wanted to add in that obviously it's going to be the legend, because the more that he kills, the more he transcends into legend. Sorry, I cut you off. You can go on. That's all I had to say.
That line from her, the Loomis line, but it just doesn't feel right coming from her. I've completely lost my spot.
I know. I did ruin the show.
It's funny you say that. I want to throw in this. I remember when I first saw the trailer, and one of my highlights from that trailer was like I got super excited and very hype when Jamie Lee Curtis said "Evil dies tonight." If I only knew how many times that line was said in the movie, I would not have said that. Like if they would have just stuck it with her, like it fit right in the trailer. I was like, oh, that's a badass line. But when you hear it 97,000 times in 15 minutes, man.
Yeah, if that was like, I mean, obviously we know how the movie goes and stuff, but if that was how the movie ended, with her being like, you know what, evil dies tonight, that would be pretty cool.
Pretty badass.
Or if she said it to a close group of friends the one time, but no, it got, it was the slogan of the town. And
and like it would have made sense because obviously, they had a different ending, or a different, I guess, view of where they were going to take ends. Obviously that was going to be on the same night. So, and we see in the trailer and in the deleted scene that she's walking out of the hospital going to hunt Michael down. That was the original plan. Yeah. And I agree with you. If they didn't say evil dies tonight and left it for her to say right there at the end, that would have been really badass. But like I said, if I knew they would have said it as much as they did, that wouldn't have been the highlight of the trailer for me.
So let me throw out this possibility. Halloween Ends comes and goes. And a few years from now, they do another Halloween movie with Michael Myers, but has nothing to do with Laurie Strode. Would you guys prefer it be set in, say, 2024? Let's say that's the year it comes out, in 2025. Or would you like to see them do something with a little bit of a budget and go back and do a movie in like the early mid 1980s and do a 1980s slasher with Michael Myers back then? And obviously it puts like the biggest storytelling aspect of that is it backs up technology a lot and gives you a little storytelling leeway in terms of the killer sort of having them. Or does it matter to you? To me, I'd like to go back and have another Michael Myers movie solely set back in that time, especially after seeing the flashback in Halloween Kills, because I do think the flashback in Kills is the strongest part of the movie.
Yeah, no, I mean I agree. I don't know how far back they would go or where they want to go, but to me, I've always said that they should do a sequel off 4. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's what I would prefer. Like if I was in charge of where this franchise goes next, it would be based off 4. And obviously you can set it into however many years after 4 that you want, because obviously we know the way that 4 ends. Obviously if you want to bring back Danielle Harris, that's fine. But even if you don't want to go down that route, if they choose to go back in time, they can do it. I mean, Stranger Things is set in the 80s, and when I watch that show, I get 80s vibes. So they can definitely shoot a film to give you the throwback vibes of back in the day. I don't think that that's a problem as long as they obviously do that correctly. So we'll see how it goes. But for me personally, I would like to see a sequel to 4. I don't know if I would like to see anything new after this series, like based in 2024 or 2025. I would definitely prefer to go back in time.
We just put out a poll on the channel. If you're watching live, you probably just got access to it, I think.
I see it.
I don't know how this works. I've never done one of these live. But basically, I gave the option of voting for, do you want the next Halloween movie, not Halloween Ends, but the one after, to take place in the 1980s or the 2020s? Take a second, vote on that, and I'll try to figure out how to look at results.
I love the 80s. I love everything 80s, man. So
I'm a big 80s, 90s fan too. Movies were better quality at that time because they just made sense. They didn't go all over the place and do crazy shit.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you go through my top 5 movies of all time, just real quick, not naming them, but outside of The Dark Knight, most of them are 80s, early 90s, maybe a couple 2000s, but most of them are throwbacks back in the day. I thoroughly enjoyed the 80s time, even though I wasn't born then. I just enjoy that time and that atmosphere, and I don't know. I love the music. I love everything about the 80s. So yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. I like Halloween 2, but I think it'll be interesting for them to go back and do what happened right after the original and tie it into the new series of movies. But I mean, obviously, if we're getting ends, that's the end, and whatever we have will probably not have to do with this.
Well, it's funny
timeline.
you say that. What if they did something after 2? Which, I mean, obviously you would have to cut out 4 because obviously 4 starts with him, in the hospital or whatever, burnt or whatever.
The only problem is, and I've said this before, you have to recast Loomis. You have to recast someone who can be him.
Yeah,
do it right. There's people that can do it. You just got to do it right. Get the right person.
Yeah, you have to find the right person who can do it, and they don't have to be straight on Donald Pleasance. They don't have to look exactly like him. They just have to be able to play the character good. That's all. They just have to be a decent actor, and someone who gets the idea of the character and really take care of it and make sure it's done right. But they need to recast Loomis. My thing that I would like them to do is just start off fresh again, but then have something that has more to do with Michael versus Loomis rather than Michael versus Laurie. So that's what I would like to see.
Yeah, I don't know, because I would like that too. I mean, it would. Yeah, you're right, man. It would just have to be somebody who could really pull off that part. I mean, those are just big shoes to fill, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
And I know you're a big Donald Pleasance guy when it comes to this franchise. I mean, so am I. But yeah, I mean, I definitely respect that. I definitely think it does have to be that right person.
And I'm not saying it has to be Michael versus Loomis, like it's a one-on-one fight, but I mean, like the number one guy trying to go after him should be Loomis chasing after him. I think that would be.
I agree with that. I mean, I definitely think that they should still keep the notion of Michael really isn't chasing anybody. He just destroys everybody in his path. I do think Loomis should become the obsessed person. You know, like we saw throughout the movies as they built up. He became obsessed with Michael Myers, and then obviously when we got to H2O, he obviously wasn't in H2O, but they open the door and they see everything on the wall and they see how obsessed. Like that's what I would like to see. And I would like to see Loomis try to hunt down Mike himself. So.
Almost like I would like it if it was almost like what's the Zodiac movie that had the Hulk actor in there as well.
Fantastic movie with Mark Ruffalo, Robert Downey Jr. and man, I forget the guy's name.
Because like a really cool part of that film was he fucked up his life in order to chase after this guy and just became super obsessive with it, and I think that is an interesting take on the relationship. Obviously, like them having the relationship of him being his doctor, his psychiatrist for many years, and not being able to, find out a damn thing about him the whole time and, become obsessive. I think that makes more sense than just, this babysitter that went after, that he went after is more obsessive about going after him and things like that. It makes more sense. Like if you don't know anything about Halloween and you had to pick between those two premises, then I think it makes more sense to do that type of Loomis Michael Myers relationship in a movie.
Well, there's good news for baseball that just came through. Anyway, apologies, multitasking. We're going to go for about 10 or 15 more minutes. Short show tonight, guys. I promise in the next few weeks or so, you're really going to start to see a change here in terms of the way things are distributing, in terms of how we approach topics. We're always going to have a weekly show. We'll come on here, hang out, discuss what's new with you guys. But we're going to distribute some of our more serious topics a little differently moving forward. And hopefully that comes sooner rather than later. So feel free to send in any questions you want. Again, if you want to support the channel, you can join patreon.com/Fandom Empire, send in a super chat, and Google will take almost half of it. But yeah, floor's your guys. Anything you guys want to talk about, feel free. Troy says, here's an idea. How about a Halloween movie in the snow? It sometimes snows in October. It does. It snowed a couple Halloweens. I was younger. I don't think it snowed on Halloween in several years here, but
honestly, I agree. I'm in Virginia. It can fucking snow in June. Honestly, like it's so the weather here. It's 50 today. It was 80 yesterday. It's crazy. It's crazy.
We're getting that same shit.
Yeah.
And then the pollen here is, don't even get me started on that. I can't even breathe.
No, I have asthma. I hear you. It's fucking brutal. Why does it not show me what's highlighted anymore? Wow, StreamYards is just dying tonight. Jay the Dead says it's easier for a Halloween type movie without cell phones. I agree. Let's get rid of the cell phones and really make things, it might seem a little campy, but I'm okay with campy if it's done right.
Yeah. I mean, we all have like the technology that superheroes had like the 80s, like sitting in our phone.
Are y'all opposed to Michael Myers leaving Haddonfield, or do you want him to stay in Haddonfield?
I'm fine with him. I mean, he's already left, right? H2O.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have a problem with him leaving. That was, that's a lot of people knocked that movie for it not being set in Haddonfield. So I just wanted to get y'all's opinion on that. Would you mind him leaving the town of Haddonfield?
I still prefer Haddonfield, to be honest. Yeah. I still prefer it. It doesn't mean that a movie is ruined by it. I'm not, that movie's dumb because of that. But, but yeah, I would prefer Haddonfield.
It all depends. Like, I know there was a Halloween movie that almost got made completely based in a high-rise apartment building, which would be curious to see how that would work. I'd love to see Michael throw someone off the top of a high-rise apartment building. Like it is.
They would throw that in there.
No, give us some fucking just spectacular kills.
That sounds really
also
cool.
Done in a way that's not as in your face as Halloween Kills, if that makes sense. Something a little more poetic. Ken says Aaron Armstrong for Michael Myers. He played Michael Myers in actually parts of Halloween 2018, some of the more serious stunt parts, and he also played him
in the flashback.
In the flashback and some current timeline stuff. So I'd love to see Aaron Armstrong get a full film as Michael Myers. I think he's earned it at this point.
Yeah, there was somebody else who played Michael in Kills. I don't know his name, but I know particularly for the park scene.
There was 5 different people that played him in Kills.
Was it 5? Okay.
You got
It's crazy that they keep doing that. It's kind of a.
Nick Castle said he has another cameo in Ends too, so we'll have to see.
It's kind of a thing to do now. Like it's kind of like like something that you got to have, an ingredient in Halloween movies.
Yeah, it's crazy because if you think about it, even in the first one, there was 3 or 4, however many, at least 3, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Mike, you've been messing around on Twitch lately. You still Dead by Daylight, dude?
Dude, yeah. So I've never been like huge into gaming like I was as a child, and then when I moved out and moved into my apartment, I was just all about work. And then when I bought my house, I built, I got a 3-bedroom, so it's just me and my dog. So my room, the spare bedroom, and then like my game room, my fan cave, whatever you want to call it. So I have a nice little setup, and yeah, I've just been gaming a lot lately, and it's crazy because I heard of Dead by Daylight before, but I was never really put onto it or anything like that. And I was just scrolling on YouTube, and it popped up. It's actually crazy how long the game has been out, but how many people still play this game. Like it's absolutely crazy. I mean, when I heard the concept of it, I was like, it sounds kind of boring. I wouldn't like it, but it's actually really fun and very, very addicting.
It's simple.
It's simple, and if
Ghostface is way the fuck too powerful, but yeah.
I have not beat Ghostface or Freddy so far. So.
They're both tough.
Yeah, Michael's tough too. I don't think I've beaten him. I've definitely beaten Leatherface. Obviously Jason's not in there, but yeah, I've just
played online. I know there was some offline stuff for the PC version, but
is there? I've only been playing online too. But no, yeah, man, I've been playing that. It's been fun. I just downloaded the show, MLB The Show 22, so I've been playing around with that, and I'm looking forward to. I actually just followed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game on Instagram. I know they got a panel coming up here soon.
Man, if it's as good as their Friday the 13th game, and I love that Friday game. It launched too early and was way too buggy, but I love that game. Kieran, who's not even really a gamer, I think would get enjoyment out of playing with people that he knows, with Friday and Dead by Daylight. Like I will play games alone, but if I have people online that I know,
it's so fun.
I think you just play it.
And the crazy thing about Dead by Daylight is it is an old game, but they keep making updates to it. Like they just like a new update just dropped.
Keep getting all the licenses for the horror characters.
Yeah, they just put the ring girl in there, so she's the newest character, and they're going to come out with another one. And they actually just next month getting ready to re-release the Haddonfield map.
Really?
They re-rendered that map. So. Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of Grand Theft Auto. Obviously, not as big as Grand Theft Auto, but a game that was released. All they keep doing is just keep making updates and making money off of it. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they're updating the Haddonfield map. Like the Myers house looks like the Myers house, but like it looks bad.
if you get a chance, if you're just hanging out on YouTube, there's people that have access to it already, obviously, and it's absolutely ridiculous. They put the Wallace house in there, looks exactly like it too. So yeah, they definitely did a lot better job this round from like the commentary. I didn't get to see it the first time around, but this round is supposedly a lot better from the people that I watched on stream and being able to play it in their commentary. But yeah, I'm excited for the Friday the 13th game and the Corey, man. That looks good too. Really good.
Corey looks great.
Yeah.
Travis sends in a $20 super chat. I would like to see a Halloween series next. Starts out as an origin in the realm of the original novel and revamped part 3. Touch on all the movies like the series Hannibal did with Silence of the Lambs. I'll tell you what. If you did a Halloween-esque Silence of the Lambs, well, it's hard to do that Silence of the Lambs because he's already in prison at that point. But here's what. Let's do a Halloween movie that's a detective-based story similar to the Batman. Let's focus on the people trying to solve the crime instead of the victims, because to my knowledge, unless I'm forgetting, that's never been done. I can't think of obviously Loomis gets some play as the doctor, and Brackett and Meeker get some play, but they're not the focus. They're secondary background characters. Let's put someone in a position of authority that's trying to stop this. And follow them. I know Dave McRae did a fan film once about that too. So it'd be cool to see. I wouldn't mind it.
He says we'd like to see Halloween series. I don't know if he means a series of movies or a show. I think Halloween would do very good as a limited series. It wouldn't. I wouldn't go past a season. I would make it a 1 season thing, maybe 10 episodes, 8 episodes. But I think could do really good. Could be really good as something like that.
I know I'm gonna get some groans over this, but I would love to see just like a slower paced Halloween movie. Something in the vein of the Batman, or in the vein of Seven, or in the vein of the Zodiac, which you brought up earlier. So
yeah, that's a really slow going movie. Yeah, I can see that. I would love to do something where it kind of flashes back to Loomis interviewing him and things like that, and then flash to something that happened on his way, to current time. And I would like to see things like that. Explore the character a little bit more.
Kevin, Dustin, Sean, when can we expect Haddonfield to Vanish to be released, and what happened to the other footage, found footage movie you were doing? And when can we expect Indiegogo perks to go out? Some Indiegogo perks have already gone out, but most of that will go out late summer. And we've decided to combine the found footage movie with the footage we shot from Haddonfield The Vanished, and we're going to release it as all one picture. Kevin, your best bet is to go on Facebook and go to the Fandom Empire Now group. I know we released some photos on Twitter. I think there was 4 of them. But we released some photos on Facebook of the shoot, and they're new photos, and there was 15 of them.
Really good photos. Very good photos.
I'm gonna see if I can.
Several of them featuring me.
Tommy, Kieran, you should make that photo your Facebook profile picture, man.
Yeah, I know. I like that one.
That's good. Yeah, whoever shot those shots did a very good job.
A lot of these shots are taken they're not like stills. They're they're not like we didn't have a photographer there. Hey, position yourself here. They're literally taken from a shot in the movie, minus us standing around the car at the one point, which is obviously not. Let me see if I can pull a few of them up here. Pull the one
don't spoil the ending where Michael parties with all the people he killed.
I can't play that now. We'll lose monetization. What we got here? So here's the first one. Maybe Kieran can briefly walk you through this and what's going on without giving away any spoilers.
Oh, that is my detective character, or my police character.
Hell of a picture.
he is searching for a certain somebody, and very, very spooked at this point. Very freaked out at this point.
Has to be Jason Voorhees.
It was definitely Jason. They're both in this movie, and when I turn around the corner, I actually see the leprechaun. No, but yeah, very freaked out moment for this character. You can't see it here, but his gun is definitely shaking in his hands at this moment. So yeah, really fun thing to do. We shot this scene over and over again. Actually, we shot the scene several times to get it right, and I haven't seen it yet, so I'm very interested to see how it turned out.
It looks better than anything I could have imagined. To be honest, the stuff that was shot in the fall.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm
excited.
not holding any bones about it. The first shoot we did not go as planned, so there wasn't nearly as much from that as we would have liked to have.
Do I get an invite to the premiere?
Well, it won't be in a movie theater. So, sure, we'll green screen it.
This one was also fun to do. That's me on the right, and another. Well, I don't know if I want to mention who was in, but my partner there was also very fun to work with all weekend there. And it was fun because this is something I practiced for quite often going into it, was like watching movies where cops search through houses and things like that, and watching it and seeing how they do it, and how should I hold my gun and the light, and the actor,
which is the correct way, by the way. You did a good job.
Yeah, the person who plays Michael at this point, because I wasn't the original, walked through the house super creepy, and I honestly was really scared to see him possibly be around any corner in this house all weekend. So that definitely helped me act scared and freaked out a little bit. And that would be that aforementioned person there in the Michael mask. So that's a really neat silhouette that you got there too.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
As much as that weekend didn't work out as planned, and we learned a lot of things from that weekend was a lot of fun shooting too.
For sure. When you take the stress of trying to jam so much into a short amount of time,
yeah,
there are times during that weekend I'll obviously never forget. And but I don't think I'd ever want to do it on that scale again. I think if I was to do anything else, it would be on the scale of what we did in the fall, but maybe not at that location, at a different location with maybe a couple extra bodies. That first weekend was just too much.
I think that was like one of those situations where we put a little bit too much on our plate. Our eyes were hungrier than our stomachs.
Agreed. And that's on me. That falls on me at the end of the day. Kevin says, why did you decide to combine the films instead of doing it the other way? That's probably a question best left for another time. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. There's a technical side of it for sure that led to that decision. And there's actually a little bit more I'd like to shoot earlier this summer to bookend things. But it'll flow better, is the honest answer. It will flow better. And this thing was never going to come out as quickly as any of the other big fan films that were going out there. And we're doing the best with what we have to work with. We have filmed this thing around 6 fucking waves of a pandemic in Canada. And I get it. There's people that just don't want to understand the logistics of having to work through that, but it's been a nightmare. Like, it caused us so many problems.
Well, that nice house in the background was not available to us later on. So
no, not at that price.
That was during the pandemic, it wasn't available at all. Correct?
No, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did the year before. And
Yeah,
even the year before, we were really kind of pushing it.
That didn't work out too well. So yeah, whatever. We adapted, and I mean, of course, it would be great if we could release this thing super quick. But it'll be better if it's better when it comes out, as opposed to just releasing it quick. Not getting someone to do it the right way.
Agreed. We also don't have like we intended to have an actual editor in here helping us, but we don't have that. So like outside of running a channel and working multiple jobs and having a family and spending time with them and maintaining somewhat of a social life and finding time to do this, it's just not a lot of time. You know, I'm not Dave, I'm not Bruce, I'm nobody else. But I think what we release will be fun. It'll be nothing close to It's Me, Billy. I know people love to throw that out there, but we're straightforward from the beginning saying that this was just not going to be that type of quality.
They
spent a lot of money on that film, from what I heard, like a lot.
Yeah,
we don't have a fucking drone camera either. My God, he's right there.
Did the script change dramatically? I don't know if I want to say dramatically. I mean, when you start adding a bunch of shit, obviously there's a lot of things that change up. But for the most part, everything that needs to be there is there. The biggest change was basically the complete removal of a certain character on screen. And yet that character still had to be told in the story, and definitely complicated things. And that's the other thing. You start off in 2020 and you start shooting and you have a group of people. And then the pandemic continues all the way till 2021, and it's another year later before you can shoot again because of restrictions. And then you have certain people not available to you anymore, right? And it's like, we're not a professional filmmaking crew by any means. We went out there and did the best we could. And honestly, for the people that were there, they had fun. And
you should have got these people under contract, Sean.
Should have.
You're contracted for 4 movies. Get your ass up here.
I like that one there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's so Michael. That kitchen was nice too. You got to know it real well. And then there's our last one. Somebody is in for a rude awakening. We won't say who. Anyways, there's some images from the movie. Chat slowed down, so we are going to call it here. Mike, when can everybody catch you on Twitch again, sir?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I have no idea. I don't stream like that. So, but you can follow me on Twitter at @MichaelBish_, and then I usually announce when I'm going live. So, it'd be pretty cool to get everybody on Fandom to play one night. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be fun.
Just talk some shit.
What do you play on?
I play on Xbox, but it's cross-platform. So.
Oh, is it?
Well, I think.
Yeah.
I think one of the guys here was it Jay that said Jay dead. He threw his gamer tag in there. If anybody wants to play,
did he?
Go ahead, build a forum there. Build up a play group.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool indeed. We know where you can find Kieran here on the show. Hopefully doing something Rick and Morty related sometime this year if they decide to do anything new. Got a bunch coming up on the channel. Appreciate all you guys for sticking it out and tuning in tonight. It's appreciated. Check us out on our socials. That helps too, I hear. Patreon.com/Fandom Empire, at Fandom Empire now, for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Kieran and Mike, I'm Sean. See you next week.